Hi, I'm Susan Kennard, and I wanted to share something with you. I've been thinking over the last whiles, over these 3 months, about the whole playing small. And so, what I really wanted to talk to you about was how you could actually play in your divine potential. This is the thing that I've taught my children. They're now 12 and a half and 11 years old. And I intend to be helping other children tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on a Zoom call to help them release the parts of them that are afraid or feel that they can't be amazing beings of light having a human experience. But really, what this call is about, what this video is about, is to say to you, do you feel that in your life you've been playing small? Do you feel that you know that within you you have this incredible, infinite, divine potential? And do you feel that over these last few months here, what we've been living, you've come within and you've suddenly thought, hang on a minute, I know there's so much more for me. I know that I am this incredible divine potential, and perhaps I haven't been living that. I don't like labels, but one of the things that I find really important is to create success by living your true mission. Now, I noticed over my life, that I used to work for organisations. So I worked for local government as in local authority in child protection. I did that for many, many, many years. And it wasn't until about 12 years ago, 11 years ago, that I stepped out of that for lots of reasons, but which I won't go into here. But essentially, I stepped out of this kind of control environment where I had to be the yes person. I had to follow the line. I had to follow what I was told to do. And that never ever sat well with me. So creating my own business, I kind of already had one anyway because I was consulting whilst I was working in child protection as a trauma specialist. But so on the side, I was helping parents and adults how to release their trauma. But essentially, I stepped out into my own practice, and I call it stepping out of the closet, essentially, but not in a sexuality way, but in a standing in my power way. And more than ever, I feel that looking back on that now, I can see that was the best decision that I ever made. There were other circumstances around that pushed me into that decision. One of them was becoming a single parent with two babies. But more than ever, I feel like now is the time for us to really, really step into this entrepreneur part of ourselves, the spiritual entrepreneur part of ourselves. And what I found is that when that happens, when you really stand in your power and you say, I am this incredible being of light, and I chose to be here at this time to be of service, which is essentially who we all are, whatever we do. And it's time for us to look at that and say, oh my goodness, why have I been playing small? And perhaps giving my power away to an organisation or to whatever it might be, to get paid a salary where I can never really extend myself. I can, but I can't quite get to the place that I want to be unless I climb the government ladder. Okay? So, what I found really incredibly is that because I have my own business as a spiritual entrepreneur and as helping people to align to their mission, I am the sole creator. I create what I want to create. I choose when I work. I choose when I slot things into my diary, when I run courses, when I travel. Not so much these days, but I did choose that. and I'm already planning the next one. But essentially, I choose. I have this power within me to choose. And that's a massive difference from how it used to be all those years ago, where I had to go to work at this time, finish at this time, do a certain amount of hours. I don't do that anymore. And what I really want to say to you is that what's key is that when you're standing in your own energy of creation, when you really work on yourself, when you heal those parts of you that thought that you had to play small, that you weren't worthy of receiving, you couldn't charge, you couldn't whatever, and you couldn't possibly have your own practice or your own business. When you heal those parts of you, which sometimes aren't even yours, that come from ancestors or mother and father, or beliefs that you've brought in which are from previous times, or epigenetics, which is thought forms, when you actually heal those parts of you, then you start to create an aspect of yourself which was always there and was just being suppressed. And so for me, what I've watched over the years, I've been a therapist for over 25 years, and I stepped into my energy practice about 12 years ago. What I've found is that even working with veterans with PTSD and serious trauma, sexual trauma, whatever it might be, what I found with people is they start to say, hang on a minute, those choices that I made then, they were all for a reason. But I don't have to be that person anymore. It doesn't define me. What happened to me on the war fields, what happened to me as a child, what happened to me as a teenager, or whatever choices you made, whatever relationships you made choices wise, that doesn't have to define you now. Okay? And I can tell you that you do not have to be defined by what the outside world is trying to tell you that you're defined by. You have this incredible power within you to make your own choices. And so what I noticed was, as the field of experience changed, as my consciousness changed and expanded and I remembered who I was able to expand my light out and reflect back the experience of my beliefs. So as I started to stand more and more and more in unconditional love and my power, nothing outside of me actually made a difference. It didn't affect me. What people thought didn't affect me. What people said didn't affect me. Because I was standing fully in my power, and not in an ego sense, and not in a hierarchy sense, but in a sense of really truly living my mission. And truly living your mission is all it's about. Why did you come in? What was the reason for that? When you really search within you, you know. Perhaps it was something you thought of as a child. And I always wanted to be the archetypal nurse when I was a little girl. And then when I went to secondary school, I always wanted to be a social worker. But I was told at secondary school, oh, well, if you want to be a social worker, you've got to have that. In my time, it was O levels. That O level, that O level, that O level, that O level. And it's a lot of hard work. But isn't it really interesting how I worked in social services and yet I wasn't a social worker? I chose to go down the route of a psychology degree and psychotherapy postgrad, and later lots of other qualifications as well. I chose to go down that road, but I came back round to actually working in social services, local authority. So actually, as that teenager, I knew what my mission was. I knew it. I knew it within my heart and soul. So what I want to invite you to think about is, what was it that you really wanted to do? Do you know what it was? Because when you really search within, you've always known. And so is it time now for you to look at what is it within you that really wants to create, but not by default, but by intention? And I'm not suggesting you quit the job. I'm not suggesting you go out and like tell your boss, I'm no longer working for you, right? But what I am inviting you to think about is all the while you stay in somebody else's energy, it's the same with relationships if it doesn't match. All the while you stay in someone else's energy, you've got your energy field here and their energy field there. And if those two don't match, then you're always lessening your vibration, because it's really tough to raise your vibration when you're around something that isn't raised. You have to counterbalance it. That's the way the universe works. But when you have your own practice and you stand in that part of you that is a co-creator with the universe, there are no limits, infinite possibility. So I created the Spiritual Entrepreneur Program, which is a 10-week program that takes you through everything that I've learnt the hard way with, that I can teach you and support you with. It teaches you how to channel your course or your book. It teaches you how to know when your vibration is out of alignment with your mission. It teaches you how to create that practice online if that's what you want to do. At this moment, that's important. It teaches you how to use the universe as your market. It teaches you how to speak. It teaches you how to become visible in the world. It releases your fear of that visibility. That's just a few things that my Spiritual Entrepreneur Program will do for you. I'm really excited about it. You know, all my creations, all my courses, all my programs that I put together are really given to me, downloaded to me, because they are for the highest and best for me, for you, and for the collective. So going forward, do you want to be somebody who actually has to say yes to another's idea of what's right? Or do you want to be somebody that says yes to what you want to choose and create? I live this life where I just have fun every day. You know, I'm about to start with some clients in a moment, and every single one of them will teach me something about me. As I'm helping them heal, they're helping me, because there is no separation. You know, we are one. We're one unity. We're one consciousness. And it's our time now to really stand fully in that power and not play small anymore. So if you're interested in that, go to my website, susankennard.co.uk, where you can find all the details about it. It starts in a couple of weeks. I'm only taking a certain amount of people, so there aren't a huge amount of places, because I really like to work really individually with people in my groups, as well as individual sessions. And you've got two choices. You can either just come on the groups for 10 weeks, or you can have private sessions with me as well. It's your choice, whatever you feels right. And I just want to offer that out to you, because I'd love to have you on it. If this feels a resonance to you and you feel it's the time to do it, then the universe is calling you to. Much love. See you very soon.